Welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning into another exciting StarCraft 2 broadcast. Anaris here, bringing you Week 6 of the After Hours Gaming League tournament, where 8 tech companies bring together their strongest StarCraft 2 talent in an attempt to guide the $5,000 grand prize to a charity of their choosing. So this week we're going to be watching a best-of-5 series between Facebook, who's currently ranked number 7, against Microsoft, the number 1 ranked team currently in the league. Now, like I said, we're getting close. This is a 9-week event, so we're already 2/3 the way through. We'll see if Facebook can get themselves a solid victory here, or if Microsoft is going to retain their title as first place. So, without further ado, here's game number 1. Let's kick off game number 1, Microsoft versus Facebook. This is going to be a best-of-5 series from week number 6, Ice Cream Boy, representing Facebook down in the bottom right position as the Red Zerg, facing off against his Teal Terran opponent. We have Perry Hellion for Microsoft. So, very interesting match series today. Starting off with the ZVT cross position on a decently macro-oriented map. I think we could be in for a solid battle. That's where I'm hoping we're going to see both players kick up their economy in the early game and then move on later with some strong pushes going both ways. We'll wait and see exactly what happens here. Now, for those of you who don't know, there are also other casters doing this event as well. There's Diggity, there's Day 9, I think there's 1 or 2 other ones. So if you haven't checked out all the other games, I think there's 4 this week, four match series going on right now. So check out afterhoursgaming.tv for information and direct video links. You can actually just watch them all on that page, as well as get the information mentioned in this video and more about each individual player. So now let's take a look at Ice Cream Boy down here, currently sitting at 14 supply. Now, I don't think we're going to be seeing like a extractor spawning pool, that conservative play. I think he's going to be going for a hatch first here. Looking at his money right now, he's sitting at around 230 supply, and there goes that drone heading down towards the natural expansion. So I think we are going to see that to go down. And for the Terran player, we see he has that extremely standard wall off. Everything is looking hunky-dory there. He'll be able to... Ooh, going with 2 barracks. Now, I was thinking maybe he was going to be doing some kind of early expansion, maybe a 1 racks expand, judging by the fact that we don't have any gas here, and obviously, so far, just 1 barracks. But the inclusion of a second barracks is kind of leaning more towards a pressure play, which is a good call considering the fact that the Zerg player went hatch first. His spawning pool just went down a few moments ago. So, with the ability to get some Marines already on the field here, I think Perry Hellion will be in a good position. Oh, but the drone for Ice Cream Boy able to get in here past the supply depot, which was unfortunately left down. However, this does essentially mean that this drone's days are indeed quite numbered, as the next Marine can pop off of here, run into the base, take off a free kill, and head back down to the Zerg player's expansion. Down at the expansion, we do have 1 SCV getting ready to throw down a bunker at the edge of the ramp here. Fairly good placement. He's going to have to watch out for the Zerglings, though, as we see 6 of them are on the way. The nice thing about this spot is it is nice and tucked away towards a corner. You know, you also see them placed around here where it's even more difficult to get into position. But with all those drones coming down, it is going to isolate the Marine away from the bunker, which is almost complete. If he can get that up, then it will be serious trouble for his opponent. But with the SCV running in pursuit, he is trying to micro this bad boy. Oh no, 359 out of 400. Will he make it? Oh, Ice Cream Boy with the last second save is taking a pretty good spot, man. 3 Marines. Okay, the Zerglings can deal with that without too much difficulty. So Perry Hellion is going to have to cancel this bunker. And oh, looks like he let it go down. Oh man, that's definitely not good. But with the expansion of his own, currently under construction, about 20% complete, he'll be able to catch up here in the coming moments. We'll see exactly what the Zerg player does if he decides to go for some kind of pressure, which I think is a little... I don't think we're going to see that, because of the fact the double barracks there. You know, it would be pretty difficult to do an attack, get through this depot. That would be the weak spot for a Baneling bust. But, I mean, looking at it, we've got plenty of drones on the way. we do have the Terran player working on double gas right now, so he's going to be looking to catch up pretty darn quick in that regard. Overall, I feel like both players are still in fairly comfortable positions, with the Zerg player not really having that big of an army, and the Terran player, of course, having that wall off here at the top. Looking at the income, 19 to 20 harvesters right now. Of course, Terran's the only one working on the gas, and he does have a few Marines heading out. This is a good idea. I mean, hey, if you've got this defense force sitting around, you might as well go and try to assert some control over the middle of the map. Control the visions, so that way you know if any Zergling run-bys are going to be happening here. There may be harassment in the mineral line for your natural in just a few moments. Anything is possible here, and that's exactly what Perry Hellion has in mind. And now he's going to be moving up, which could be a very risky move, going up to the Spine Crawler. Oh no, one Marine getting a hit right there. Fortunately, he does only lose one, so it definitely could have been a lot worse there. Now, let's take a look at the Terran player once again. We do have double factory going down, definitely making good use of that gas. Looking at the worker count now, though, 24 to 24 even. With the Zerg player still continuing to just kind of build up his infrastructure here. You see, I think he pumped out one more little batch of Zerglings, just 2 of them there, and is now on his way into lair tag, just about complete. And that's where we'll start to see what strategy he's going to employ. Plenty more drones on the way, continuing to build those. The metabolic boost upgrade, about 30% complete there. That'll allow these Zerglings to run around much quicker and possibly catch these Marines off guard, which, fortunately for Perry Hellion, his opponent only sent 1 Zergling, so he will be able to hold that watchtower. But in the meantime, we do have an Overlord for Ice Cream Boy coming into a position where he will be able to run up into the Terran main base and scout. But what is this? He's not moving. He's stopped for a lunch break, ladies and gentlemen. Not the right time to do that. Oh no, Ice Cream's Overlord is going to be going down. Splat! All into the water below. I would not recommend actually drinking from this part of the surrounding body of water at this point in time. Pose a health and safety hazard. Now, let's look at what Perry Hellion's doing. Double Hellion. He's also got that blue flame upgrade on the way. Very smart, I think. Even going, oh, triple Hellion. He is going to be looking to do some serious economic damage. Again, with the Lings, though, I mean, hey, you can't go wrong with all those Hellions claiming midfield. We haven't even hit the 10-minute mark yet. So all we've really got running around right now, just a few Zerglings. Let's compare the units for just a second. Okay, 42 to 36 in the workers, that's fine. But look at what the Zerg has, 9 Zerglings, now 11. That's it. That means that if those Hellions get in the field, they are going to be able to wreck the Zerg player. Here we go. The blue flame is about 50% complete, but there's that key for Ice Cream Boy to run back to his base. He just has to tuck tail and run as fast as possible. That's his only option at this point. But with the Queen there, you know, if he decides to throw down another Queen or 2, it'll be very easy to defend. Looking at the economy, just briefly, 45 to 40 units. I think we are sitting about the same for Zerglings, sitting about the same for both players. A few additional Hellions have been fielded here, but with that blue flame upgrade now completing here in just a few seconds, he switched over to the siege tank play. You see, he's got a 3rd factory here at the top of the ramp for the main base, so he could be going for your traditional Marine siege tank, possibly Thor's later on. We'll wait and see exactly what happens for that. But a Roachhorn is going down. Very good call. Oh, but here are the Mutas. They should be able to make quick work of these Hellions. 1 and 2. Count is proud. Ice Cream Boy looking for revenge, man. He wants to get in there and do some economic damage of his own. We'll follow the Mutas as they look like they're going to be heading towards the main base. Oh, man, a lot of SCVs. Fortunately for the Terran player, very smart, good awareness, quick on the missile turrets there. That will really limit the amount of damage those Mutas can do. So it's going to take a lot more than what Ice Cream Boy currently has on the field to get in and do any serious damage to the economy. I do want to point out, though, there's only 1 turret down here, but the Marines running around back and forth, it will leave it fairly easy to defend for Perry Hellion. Units lost so far, 300 to 650 in terms of resources. Income has kind of evened out, 47 to 50. You see both players are running neck and neck in minerals and gas. Units now, Terran's looking pretty good on the tech, but the Zerg player has so many roaches on the field. 14 of them. There'll be a great counter against the Thors, assuming he can get enough of them here in time. But with 10 more roaches on the way and just now starting a macro hatchery, very smart play by Ice Cream Boy as the Terran player continues to just hang out in his base right now. Again, he's feeling kind of contained, I think, at this point. Those mutas are a very real and present threat, and with them running around midfield, that means the Zerg has control of the watchtowers. He knows what's going on, and so any attack that the Terran player decides to move out with, he's going to have to move out in full force. But speaking of force, look at what the Zerg player is getting ready to field here just outside of the base. Even bringing the Queen, man, she is just huffing and puffing and hating life right now, making her way all the way across the map. But this attack will come at a good time, keeping the Terran nice and contained while the Zerg player goes for the third expansion. But you see the roaches taking so much fire down here, not able to come up to the top of the ramp, and only a few of them actually dying, so that was good pulling out there rather quickly. Realizing he was not going to be able to bust through that with the siege tanks in place, plus the Thors, the Marines, it was just too much for him at once. Units lost now, we can just take a quick look, 2475 to 750, so Terran's still in the lead in terms of that particular statistic, but overall not going to have that much of an impact on the game here. As far as income goes, 58 to 47, so we're seeing a nice kick for the increase of drones there for Ice Cream Boy. And here comes Perry Hellion. Oh man, he had the perfect Zergling line up there. They were all four in a row, and the angle he was going in, oh, so close. Unfortunately for that Hellion driver, the siege tank was actually blindfolded at the time, playing Pin the Donkey inside of the cockpit, and as such, suffered friendly fire damage. Perry Hellion was not available for comment. However, he was available to move out with his forces, now feeling very confident. I mean, look at what we have coming out here. We have a force that is exceptionally strong against the Zerglings. We have siege tanks, we have Marines. You know, we've also got the Thors. They'll be great in dealing with the mutas as well as the Marines. You know, helping out in that area too. The Marines don't have any upgrades though. That's something we're going to have to watch out for. You know, no stim, no combat shield. Those can be very dangerous things to go without here as we do approach the 16-minute mark. Let's just compare so many Banelings coming for Ice Cream Boy. I think that's going to work out very well here for the Zerg player. He's going to be able to do a nice assault and try to defend his base, while the Marines and Hellions are way up here, but they are coming back here. Oh man, taking out the siege tanks right off the bat. There are still a few of the Banelings coming up here. Will they be able to get that last batch of Marines? Yes, they do, leaving a very, very injured Thor. Couple siege tanks, few Hellions, that's about it. But the Zerg player has lost a lot of units during that assault, trying to break the line. It looks like Perry Hellion will be able to hold it though, continuing on, taking out this third base. His own command center is complete here. Looking at the worker count, 46 to 64. So the Zerg player definitely sitting beneath his opponent at this point in terms of worker capability. You know, Terran player is going to be able to float that command center down here and immediately snap on 20 additional workers, getting those minerals coming and be in a really good spot. Nice kill with the Zerglings there. As the Zerg player tries to retaliate, he will run into a force that is very, very adept at taking out what he currently is fielding. You know, just a few roaches, a couple Zerglings, that's going to be about it. As the Terran, it looks like he's actually going to go for that kind of risky third base placement. Okay, well, that's fine. If he's able to keep the pressure on the Zerg player, keep him over on this half of the map, then really it won't matter what this expansion, where it's at. You know, just pretty much the key here is to keep that constant aggressive pressure, keep the forces rolling, and we're seeing so far, I think Perry Hellion has that idea in mind. He's got a whole bunch of SCVs working on getting this Thor back into action as soon as possible, and having all these here with this mech-heavy build will allow him to stay in the field for even longer. And I think somebody in one of the observers just pointed out, you can spot who all was in the game here. That we have a number of SCVs. Look at how many we actually have working up here. Just a few extra, man. I mean, with 4 mineral patches, yeah, sure. But on a more serious note, the mutas are going to be coming down, looking for some blood. Won't be able to find any though. Thor in a good position. Siege tank's coming in. Uh-oh, siege tank taking some wax from that spine crawler. Second one taking the wax as well. So will we? Oh wow, so close. So very close. So the Zerg is double expanding here. This is a good move, but it's a risky one. I think it's the best choice he has at this point, considering the fact that he is now facing a containment, and the fact that this army is fairly immobile. You see those siege tanks, they are going to be vulnerable to mutalist harassment, but as far as mutas go, there's only 6 of them, so it's going to be very limited in terms of actual damage capability here. Now, you see the Zergus just keeping his forces way back here. He does have some Corruptors, which I'm thinking that we're going to have Broodlords, because, I mean, really, looking at the Terran army, there would be no other reason just to have those Corruptors around. So this is going to be his final answer. Several Broodlords, a bunch of Banelings. You see, unfortunately, it looks like the Zerg forces are just kind of whittling down a couple of Zerglings here, a couple Mutas there, as Perihelion is doing a good job assaulting. You see, he's keeping those SCVs, again, constantly repairing. Here come the Banelings, folks. It looks like they're going to be exploding on top of the Thor while the Roaches continue to push out. The staggered siege tank formation. Excellent thinking there by Perihelion, as he is going to continue pushing up here. Uh-oh, we hear that sound. That menacing sound. Broodlords morphing in. 3 of them already on the way, looking to start throwing down some damage here at the siege tank line. Very smart hitting that. Those siege tanks, the splash damage, are just going to be annihilating the SCVs rather. With Perihelion realizing exactly that, unsieging his tanks and continuing the assault. But he's not quite able to push up with all these Roaches and Mutas. Oh, unfortunately for the Zerg player, the Mutas are going to get taken down, as we see Ice Cream Boy making one final push, hoping to get out the drones. Will they make it? Oh, it is just the Drone Rally 2011. The Broodlords, though, they do need to hang out here on the high ground. That's one thing that he's going to have to absolutely make sure he does not let these run too far, overextend, and then get taken out by the Thors, which you see the Thors are able to fire tons of those Javelin missiles right down the Broodlord's throat and do a ton of damage. We see that one of the Broodlords is an inch away from death. The other one is now a centimeter away from death and has actually passed over beyond that point. And with 2 left, yeah, this is pretty much going to be it for the Zerg player. With the Terran rolling into the base, leaving all the tech structures exposed, you know, there's not a lot the Zerg player is going to be able to do. 180 supply compared to 45. We could just see the units tab right now. There's the GG from Ice Cream Man, ending game number 1, giving Perihelion a win for Microsoft. All right, guys, let's go on to game number 2 and see what happens next. It's Microsoft versus Facebook. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be kicking off game number 2 of the After Hours Gaming League, week number 6, Facebook versus Microsoft. And we have Winkletoss. That name is awesome, by the way. Spawning as the Protoss player in the 9 o'clock position, representing Facebook. And then down here for Microsoft, we have DJD. And you know, if you say his name backwards, what do you get? Yeah, you said it in your head. You know you did. Spawning down as the Red Terran player in the 6 o'clock. So good stuff. I think I already said that, but that's okay. So we have a close by air spawn location for on the map Shattered Temple, which means anything goes, but you know, we could actually have some air harassment one way or the other. Another thing, Protoss can drop the pylon right here at the top and have pretty easy access to the Terran player's base. Lots of interesting strategies that could be coming out of this game. Now, we're going to be watching Winkletoss to see a couple things, maybe kind of give us an idea of what is he going to be doing. First of all, Chronoboosts. Will he be using them on the Nexus, saving them, putting them on the Gateway, or on saving them and putting them on the Cybernetics core? Either way, we'll know in just a moment or two as he continues to Chronoboost out another probe, doubling the Nexus. So here is where we're going to start to deviate and see what strategy he's going to be employing. Meanwhile, down here, DJD opening up barracks here, 13 supply, and gas. So very standard opener, can pretty much go into whatever he darn well pleases here with gas. You know, you can open up, get some Marauders, get a, you know, put a little bit of early pressure on, get a Reaper. Ooh, Reaper would be very nice to see. Get some nice harassment coming in very close to his opponent's base, although he doesn't know it's there yet. But you see that DJD is actually scouting up here first. Ooh, typically you'll scout the close by ground position first, but since he is going to be heading up here, this will actually work out very well for him if he decides to go with that Reaper harassment, like I said before. But for now, he's going to be getting a Marine, getting the command center morphed into an orbital command, and generally getting his economy going and all that good stuff. Of course, Winkletoss running around with the probe. He knows now where his opponent is at. So, Chronoboost have not been used here on the Nexus, on the Gateway, and he's going for a second assimilator here. I'm really curious to see what he does with this. He's continuing the probe production. He'll probably be using this on maybe getting out a Stalker here first. Yep, sure enough, there we go. That's what I was kind of thinking, just kind of doubling up on the Chrono Boost there. But pretty much what he wants to do is try to take out that SCV Scout. Really, that's the first big move for the Protoss player. In order for them to go ahead and go down the tech path that they want, they really want to get rid of that Scout, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing here. And of course, DJD running around, realizing time is somewhat of an issue here. He's trying to stay far away from the Stalker. Oh, charging directly at it. Fight, young man! Fight for your life! And die shortly thereafter. That's okay. Perfectly acceptable here. Now, for DJD, down in his base, he will be going for a bio play, getting a tech lab, also going for the 3 supply depot wall-off. Very interesting technique. Some players will use a bunker up here at the top because you can recycle it. Other players, like you see here, using 3 depots. I mean, hey, you can lower any of them. And variety is the spice of life. So, be interesting to see what upgrade he gets first here. Combat shields, okay. Well, we can expect to see most likely a stim pack coming at some point here as well. But we see double gateway coming all the way. Yeah, you know you were waiting for that. And warp gate technology just about complete as well. I think what happened here is they had actually a little bit of lag. Somebody had left Void. Yeah, that guy. It was, again, very full game here, man. These people are just super excited to come out and support their team. And frankly, I can't blame them. With the chance to be able to, you know, drive to grand prize, several $1,000s towards a charity of their company's choosing. How awesome is that? Definitely something you want to come out and support your team for. And I mean, if nothing else, man, these guys are just having a good time, which is what it's all about. And Void is not having a good time, though. He's actually probably upset about that, but that's okay. Because I would be upset about it too, not being able to watch these guys continue to duke it out. Winkletoss decided to go ahead for that expansion. We see that DJD is going to be doing the same thing, building it up here in the safety of his main base, dropping the depots, man, probably just worried, okay, man, don't want that SCV to trip and build on the command, and, you know, not be able to build the command center. But, yeah, I can't always forget that sarcasm doesn't always translate over the internet. Gotta remember that. All right. Winkletoss coming down with the scouting probes, going to see, oh, the force is just running out, barely out of vision of the Marines and Marauders. Actually, I'm really surprised he didn't see that. Maybe he just wasn't paying attention to it at the time. But Winkletoss will spot these forces coming out here. However, oh, nice last-second save. Fortunately for him, that concussive shells upgrade is not quite complete, so that Stalker will be able to evacuate to safety. But look at the army size right now, 925 to 1150. Look at that, man. There's going to be a lot of damage here in this army. The combat shields, plenty of Marines, and now the Protoss player moving down. There's that Guardian shield. Oh, force field's going down as well. Try to sandwich in that poor Marine. Just cannot move at all. The rest of them are just running away back to safety. Going to be heading back down to the main base. Very good call by the Terran player DJD, realizing that, okay, that expansion's done. There's plenty of Stalkers down there. It's obvious that Winkletoss built up his forces a little bit and kind of focused on the one base play for a short while before taking this expansion, just like his opponent did. So he's pretty much on equal footing, and DJD is not going to be able to take advantage of any loopholes. However, he is doing the next best thing here, next logical step, continuing on, expanding, getting your macro going again, and sticking with the bio play. I mean, really, we can expect to see him transfer or translate later on into a little bit more possibly Marauder focus build. We do have that factory about 3/4 actually 90% complete, and we're also going to see that engineering bay start to produce some weapons and armor upgrades for what so far has been a very infantry heavy force. And I could have swore I just saw a Marine dancing a second ago. Maybe I am just completely blind, but how awesome would that be? Dancing Marines, man, just so super cool. But with the missile turret going down, they'll be able to watch for those observers. And now we have Winkletoss losing that Stalker. Oh man, definitely not a good thing, especially since he's so close to that Marine. 3 hit points left. One shot could have taken that out. But that is all right, as he is going to be double upgrades. Ooh, he's going to have to get this gas coming in, though. You can see right now he's running on 162, so he's going to be able to get Weapons 1 or, you know, any other combination that you could get with 190 gas now. But I'm going to be looking to see what he's going to be bringing from this robotics facility. If he decides to go with Colossi, he's going to have to be careful and make sure that his opponent is not stacking too heavy on the Vikings. If he is, he may want to stick to Immortals if he really wants to press this, or he could go Zealot, High Templar, Archon, something of that sort. Also fairly effective against this bio style that we're seeing DJD incorporate into his build. Now, neither player is expanding here currently, which I'm a little surprised at, but I mean, at this point in the game, they're still kind of getting their naturals going with the probes / SCVs, etc. And there we go with the Chrono Boost as well, man. He is really looking to get those upgrades as soon as possible. One thing I want to point out right now, income, you see Protoss sitting in a very good spot, currently 40 to 35, but you see he is only knocking on 2 geysers right now as compared to his opponent's 4. Well, that will, of course, change as time goes by, which you can see there's the transfer right there. As far as units lost go, you see it's fairly even. I mean, we haven't actually had any serious engagements so far this game, so I don't really consider that a clear indicator of how it's going one way or the other. But there is a robotics bay about 60% complete, and again, he's going to want to try to keep those hid away until he knows for a fact that he's got enough to press forward. Because if you show you've got 1 Colossus to an opponent who went bio, you know, by the time they're at this point in the game, they're already going to have the medevacs. They're going to have the reactor on the starport. So, oh, let's tech switch to Vikings. Oh, I don't have to switch. It's just they're already there. So they're going to be able to field plenty of those and overwhelm your Colossi very quickly, and unless you have enough to make a strong, solid push and hurt the Terran economy. So for now, we do have a Ghost on the way. Very nice addition, and of course, we do have that proxy pylon just beside the Terran high-yield expansion, working on those rocks. Already knocked down this set of destructible rocks as well. We'll be looking to possibly take that 3rd base. Likewise, the Protoss player working on the same exact thing. Now, one thing I would like to see here from him, he already does have the Twilight Council. The charge upgrade would definitely be something that would come in great value later on here as we progress towards the 14-minute mark. We also have, probe coming in. Oh, so close. Trying to bump him. Come on, man. Hit him. Hit him. Hit him in the face. Hit him in the face. Yeah. Nice. That's how probes actually talk, by the way. They're very aggressive. Very, very angry units. So for now, the Terran player moving out. Looks like he's got a couple ghosts as well. Sitting pretty good on the energy. We see he has enough for 1 and likely 2 EMPs by the time all is said and done. But Winkeltoss with the impeccably placed observer. Had to stop and think for a second. There's brain fart. Was able to spot this force, and now the Colossus is up in front. We do not have that range upgrade. The extended thermal lance is about 60% complete, so it's going to be important to make sure he does not let that run too far ahead of the rest of his forces. Also, we see there's no expansion here just yet. Protoss sitting on floating a decent bit of minerals right now. Zealots getting taken out right there. Definitely not something you want to have happen. Those are the units that you need so much for tanking. EMP lands, knocks out the shields on a couple units, also knocks about 100 energy off of there. Oh, that's a good EMP. That one was very nice, knocking out the shields on almost all of the Zealots. This army is very spread out right now. He's going to have to just condense this a little bit, get in there, and do some serious damage. Yes, perfect force fields, keeping a lot of those infantry just right where they are, allowing those Zealots to tank them in place, and Colossi eat them for lunch. Continuing on with the double upgrades, Weapons 2, Armor 2 just about complete. We see the Terran player only 0 and 1, so that's definitely going to be a point where he's going to have to improve that here. As we move into the later parts of the game, these Colossi, as they grow stronger and stronger with that weapons, they're going to eventually do 42 damage per shot with the double lasers. And that's just going to overwhelm the infantry force here, which you still see the Marines are getting picked off super quick, and the force field is just barely missing, catching right there at that choke point. The Protoss looking, he sees a good position, good opportunity to attack. He will continue pressing on here. Another EMP, this time landing on top of all of the sentries, except for just 1 or 2 of them here, and it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. You see Terran player realizing he's going to fall back to more reinforcements. Protoss, I think, is going to have this, man. 115 to 83 right now. He's continuing on the lead. Both players are expanding here, but you see the Terran player, he does have the high yield. Unfortunately, with that force field down, those Marauders are not going to be able to get down. Protoss is just like, all right, I'm just going to sit down here, hang out at the base of your ramp, and basically just rip the crap out of all your structures. There's the Viking response. That's what I was talking about. If you can get in here, do enough damage to the army, put the Terran player back on the defensive, then those Vikings will be a little bit less effective than if they were coming out to an army that was already in existence. But you see, unfortunately, it's still lost one Colossus, so you got to be really careful with those, man. Be very careful indeed. Fortunately for the Terran player, he has the high ground, and Protoss is not able to see that. No observers, no Colossi able to spot for those units. They're actually trying to run down right now, maybe pop off that sentry. The Stalker, very low on the health, but with all those SCVs getting taken out, we can just see the worker count right now. 27 to 2 in terms of workers killed, and just look at the units lost. Resources lost, rather, 11k compared to 4.5. This is the last best hope here for mankind, literally on the Shattered Temple. So many mules, it is just a mule fiesta. They're just partying like crazy, man. Unfortunately, their home that they're going to have to go and crash at is so far away, having lost the party central at the high yield expansion, meaning not really so much in the way of income for the Terran player anymore. Look at that, 54 to 21, 400. Again, man, the Protoss is doing a great job continuing with that pressure, reinforcing. He again is back up to 2 Colossi there, which means that the next engagement, if he's able to pop off those Vikings before they do too much damage, then he's essentially going to be guaranteed the win. But for now, we see the upgrades. That charge is just about complete. We see a decent number of Zealots have reinforced the army. 2 and 2. Very exciting there in terms of the upgrades. But look at this. Colossi getting off some shots right off the bat. Force fields going down. The Zealots taking the lead. And even though the Colossi are absorbing some of the firepower from the Viking, we're still going to have a GG from DJD. So that's going to bring Facebook up a game, tying it up to 1-1, ladies and gentlemen. Gets intense from here on out, man. Are we gonna have a comeback? I don't know. Wait in game 3 and find out. Here we are for game 4, ladies and gentlemen. Microsoft versus Facebook, After Hours Gaming League. You can watch these at afterhoursgaming.tv. Megumi X Bear against Axeman. I almost want to call him Axe Cop. I don't know if you've ever seen that comic, but it's seriously hilarious. Won't get on that topic of conversation. Completely different time for that. But try to make sure I don't accidentally say that. So I apologize in advance if I do let that slip, but I do mean it with the best of intentions. Now, we do have both players spawning over here in the left side of the map. Backwater Gulch. Now, as a Protoss player, I really like this map. I think that there's a lot of things that you can abuse. Well, not really abuse per se, but definitely take advantage of. Particular, the spot right here. This is very easy to wall off with a pylon and a forge, and leaving you one small choke right here, which you can easily wall off as well. Or, if you don't feel like dealing with the rocks, you can wall off here like a boss, but for now, we'll just wait and see what happens. Zerg player, Megumi X Bear, likewise, he's sitting on 14 supply. We'll see if he's going to be expanding here in the coming moments. We don't see an extractor going down just yet at 14 supply here. This will be the telltale moment. So I think we are going to be seeing that expansion. Oh, he's going pool first. Okay, that's fine. We'll see him transition into the early game with some nice support lings. He'll be able to guard his expansion without too much difficulty. Looking at the Protoss base, I do like the positioning of the pylon and the gateway. Nice and tucked away from the ramp. It's interesting because this map walling off, it's kind of a pain actually, because you see how the ramp is actually kind of protruded out, so it makes the building placement really, you have to be precise with it, or else it just won't fit. So for now, we'll wait and see what happens here as the Zerg player continues working on that spawning pool. He's also going to be going for the expansion now, realizing, okay, the gateway, it's about done. Not going to be expecting any pressure here likely. Keeping an eye on the probe and the gateway. Yep, sure enough, there we go. Now, one thing I want to point out is right down here, this is something that I've noticed in PvZ many times. You have to watch a Zerg player, because if they go for like a one-base roach, they can come down here and wreck your wall with an Overlord, just spotting that cybernetics core, take that out, deny the sentries, deny the stalker. Pretty much all you're left with are just zealots running around, plus whatever units you happen to get out by the time that was all said and done. Now this This could be a game changer right here, ladies and gentlemen. We see Megumi X Bear has dropped the extractor here on the second gas. Now, this gas is very crucial for almost all styles of play in PvZ, and we see right there actually that Zealot's going to be hoping to knock off that gas. It is going to leave the ramp exposed, and I think he just realized that. So, with Zergling still running around, you got to be careful. Make sure you don't leave that exposed. But anyways, the second gas is really, really important for the Protoss because they're going to want those sentries if they're going to be going for that type of expansion. You know, if they want Void Rays for harassment, they're going to need that extra gas from that as well. And the fact that we've seen the Chrono Boost now being saved up by Anxman here, I'm kind of wondering if he's going to be deciding to go ahead with pressure, which I think would be the next best thing here. At least with the 3 gates, get out some of those Gaslight units and come and try to take out this expansion. The Zerg player, with that early pull though, he's going to be able to field some Zerglings fairly quickly. We see he's also doing a double gas right now. So this is just kind of going all kinds of crazy builds. Definitely an exciting match though. Again, I cannot emphasize the Protoss player is in a very vulnerable spot right now. If the Zerg decided to put some pressure on, I'm fairly confident that he would be successful. 1 sentry right here, that's about it. A second one is on the way. But you look in just the army size right now, 39 to 33. That's primarily just for drones, rather. Just take a quick look at that. Also 3 queens as well. But here's the wall off now, so that's going to help out a good bit. It's going to be really important that the Protoss player catches up on the economy, though, here. The Warp Gate technology just finishing up. Of course, those Warp Gates are going to be clocking in at the 610 mark or so, bringing in several additional Zealots as well as a Sentry. Okay, bringing it to a total of 3, which is a good number right now. He's going to be able to hold that choke point. You see he's dropped down 2 additional gateways, so he could be thinking something along the lines of a very gateway-heavy push, trying to take out this expansion, but there's a Roach Warren just about complete. That's where all that gas was from the double extractor that we talked about just a moment or two ago. So the Zerg player is going to be hoping possibly to take advantage of the fact that the Protoss player does not have any Stalkers. He's dumped his money into Zealots and a few Sentries. That's it. Other than that, he's been working primarily on just walling off here, which again, like I said before, will be vulnerable to roach play. Now we do have the Protoss player moving out. I think he's got the idea, but it's going to be a little bit too late now. He does have that proxy pylon moving up. This is going to be where it takes place, man. The big battle. We see the creep has been spread out. Plenty of room. The roaches are going to have lots of space to navigate. And of course, with the queen down here as well, going to have to be careful with that. Those force fields are actually going to work against the Protoss player. You see those zealots just channeling in to the roaches' line of fire. And now the big problem for the Protoss is he's showed, okay, I don't have any heavy support units, namely Stalkers. I've got Sentries and Zealots, which means if the Zerg player can fight on the creep, he's going to be able to kite those without any issue whatsoever. And how? So, for the Protoss for now, you see he still does not have that expansion. He really needs to get that up if he wants to stay in this game in terms of economy. Speaking of economy, 33 to 37 right now as the Zerg player continues to macro up. He's getting the drone or the roaches as well, looking to put some pressure here on the natural expansion, hoping to deny that income before it actually comes in here. So now, what do we have? We have the Protoss player funneling out here, 2 Zealots just feeding. Oh, but the force wheels are going down. This could work out very well for him. Unfortunately, he just does not have the units. He doesn't have the sheer production. Oh, man. Poor Anxman. Just a couple minutes later, he would have been in such a good spot. But you see there, he actually said it was a misclick. And yeah, I would have to agree. Moving in like that, just an unfortunate mistake. Ended up costing him the game there. But we move on to game number 4 with Megumi X Bear taking a victory for Microsoft. And I think actually here, hey, he did the has left the game trick. I didn't see that for a second. You sneaky man, you. Trying to get this man to leave the game. Oh, clutch force field right there. Oh, no. Oh, well. Nice try, though. He's trying to get out those Void Rays. And see, now he's doing the trash talk, man. Oh, this game, comedic gold right here, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3, After Hours Gaming League. You heard it here first. All in the spirit of friendly competition. There we go. Players now finally leaving the game. As we do move on to Game 4, it could be the final battle. It could be. Microsoft now has a 2-1 to lead. So, Facebook, man, Gotta see 2 wins out of you. Let's go on and find out what happens next. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, for what could be the 4th and final broadcast here in this best of 5 series. Facebook is currently down 2-1. John Oldman, no pressure, man. It is up to you to bring Facebook back into this Week 6 tournament round here. And nice comment, Windows rules, I like that. With Bay down in the bottom left position as the green Terran player. Sorry, so I have to double check that. Green Terran player. We'll see what Microsoft brings to the table today, man. He is going to be looking to seal the deal. That is all that can be said about that. So he's going to be opening up with a fairly standard play, walling off at the top of the ramp. Okay. And so with what's a John Oldman? It's funny. But with these spawning positions on Xel'Naga caverns being pretty decent distance away from one another, it can lend itself really either way. If you decide to go a more conservative play, that works. If you decide to go an early expansion, that can work, but the distance is short enough to where Terran player, for example, could put pressure on his opponent. Now we see the pool going down here. Very interesting timing on that. I'm really looking to see what exactly he has in mind for this. If he's going to be going a little bit harassment, if he wants to get out an early queen, I don't know. We'll just wait and see. Meanwhile, down here, Bay, okay, open up still. Barracks at the top of the ramp. Gas going around as well. Gas for everybody. And I like his, like Bay's little line of thinking here. You hear the theory about a talkative player equals cheese. Yes, indeed. And that's funny because that is actually true. The more somebody talks in a 1v1 match that I'm playing in, I really start to wonder, they're not spamming the APM. Something is amiss, afoot, awry, whatever you want to describe it as. But for now, John Oldman, spawning pool is complete. He's feeling confident about expanding. We see he's currently sitting on 260, 270. Going to be taking that up as the time goes by. Oh no, he's going to be pulling that back. Okay. His problem, he might actually have been waiting for the Zerglings to come out and check it first. Also drop off that little batch of minerals there. So yeah, I think that's what he was doing. Just wanted to make sure he was able to get some defensive units out first. And now with those in place, he's going to be able to check the watchtowers, maybe poke and prod down here, see what the Terran player has waiting in store. Which, I mean, really, he won't find a lot, okay? I mean, hey, if anything, maybe the Zerglings... Okay, I was going to say, if the SCV took a really wide angle, could maybe get intercepted. But, nope. Alas, not going to happen. Depot raised back up. Good timing on that one. Zerglings coming in, wanting to see, again, what's for dinner. The answer is a side of supply depot with a hearty serving of barracks. 2 Marines as well. Should be able to hold the line. Relatively easy. And with the factory coming as well, we see double gas. So I'm wondering if we're going to have a rush directly to the starport, if he's going to be getting Hellions out in the meantime. I don't know. He's sitting at around 400 minerals right now, so we could also see not a hatchery go down, but a command center go down. Yes, indeed, floating those minerals could only mean one thing, and that's exactly what we have in front of you. A command center being built there in the main base. John Oldman up here. Got that queen hanging out at the natural expansion. Got a one already up here. Just waiting to inject once again. You see plenty of larvae sitting around. These eager youth very, very much waiting to join the Zerg swarm on this map. There's the drone transfer. So overall, things are looking pretty darn good for John Oldman. He's got his economy going in full swing, droning up 8 at a time. Oh, so sexy here at this point. And I think, yeah, it looks like Bay is having a little bit of a sound issue there. But with Blue Flame on the way, this will pose a significant threat to John Oldman's style of play. We don't see any spine crawlers. We don't see any Zerglings. We do have a Roach Warren that's about 50% complete. And now there's that crucial information that John Oldman was waiting to see. What is going to come out of that ramp first? Well, turns out it's a Hellion. These poor Zerglings are being forced to basically sacrifice themselves, trying to find out basically where this Hellion is going to be heading. We see it's going to be used for map control, possibly harassment here, as that blue flame is going to finish up here in the coming moments. John Oldman, though, is smart. He's got the queen positioned in the mineral line, trying to catch any Zergling or any Hellions that decide to try to run behind. Unfortunately, that Hellion is not going to be able to do any serious damage, as another queen was parked up right here. The creep will be connected in just a second or two, which is something you always want to have. Those poor queens, when they're running around on defense by themselves, they just look so depressing, watching them run over like a 3-foot-long creep gap, and they just, oh god, I can't make it. And that's actually how they sound too. They have a very deep voice. That was recorded live from the previous game. So for now, with the roaches here on the field, John Oldman stands to sit in a very good position, with actually one of them just doing a moonwalk or something. I don't know what's up with that. Very impressive skills on that roach's part, but this will allow him to continue droning up rather heavily. You saw a decent wave, about 10 drones coming, 5 still working on being built. A few Zerglings as well. Again, probably just map control. He needs to get down and check out, okay, are there SCVs? Is there an expansion? We do have several Hellions coming down here. Oh man, 5 Hellions with the blue flame upgrade, plus a medevac. Shenanigans will be had here today on Xel'Naga Caverns, as this will actually mean that the Terran player can come up here with the Hellion or 2, hit the mineral line, keep the roaches way out here, do a drop in the main, annihilate the roaches, or reverse it. Either way, I mean, this could be very brutal for the Zerg player, I will say that. Looking at the drone count right now, 43 to 27. He has definitely been droning up quite hard. You see the army has indeed suffered as a result. He has a few roaches, that's about it. But here come the Hellions, ladies and gentlemen. We do have 4 of them running in the main base right now, working on those drones. A couple of them already go down right off the bat. Drones get a perfect lineup right there. Will he be able to shoot? No, he's dancing around there. Oh man, the drone's able to avert death. Just so close. John Oldman, props to you, man. That was just incredible that he suffered as little damage as he did. Bay has a couple units still hanging around out here, remnants of the drop, and now we have the Zerglings looking to come down and counter. The Zerg player is hoping that as a result of that attack, the Terran's going to not have a lot of forces, but you see those Zerglings running over here, hoping to maybe catch this Hellion from running away, lifting off at the last second. So now Bay will be in a pretty good spot. Let's look at units lost so far. 675 to 450 resources lost. I keep calling it units just because of the tab thingy, but you know what I'm talking about here. I'm trying to break that habit. As far as actual workers lost go, 6 workers. That's it. That is it. So that is just a miracle. As we approach the bottom of the 10-minute mark, looking at the Terran player's base, things are looking quite nice, actually. Continuing on with the bio production, you see he's also got a starport. He's going to be able to throw down a reactor, get some medevacs here coming in the next couple minutes if he actually decides to do that. He does also have siege tank on the way, and most importantly, stim pack. Oh, sweet stim pack. You see another drop trying to take place here for Bay. He's looking for an opportunity. Will he find it, though? There's yet another Marine medevac force running around midfield. Here comes the drop, getting ready to... Whoa, very close. I was about to say, getting ready to land in the natural. That would not end very well. So the Terran player is actually hoping that with a drop here, and an attack coming up through here, that he's going to be able to score some kind of economic damage on this Zerg player. Will it happen? I don't know. 39 to 42 in the harvester count right now. So Terran is definitely sitting in a pretty good position. You see the Marines over here trying to take out the extractor. Not very successful, though, as the Zerg player has dealt with one threat already. The second one is starting to take effect over here, but it's going to be limited, as you see that poor Hellion going to attack that spine crawler, as the other forces over here are just mopped up without too much difficulty. Infestors leaving their mark with the fungal growth. Resources lost now, you can see changed ever so slightly. But that queen is hoping to pull off a kill for herself. Oh, but the second one coming in. Competition! Oh, it's fierce when you got 2 queens involved. So looking down the Terran player's base, he has a nice wall-in here at his natural expansion. Be very difficult for the Zerg player to break without some banelings. Zerglings, of course, will be funneled through this little choke point right here and all the way around, continuing to wall that off, secure his mineral line. Looking at the workers now, 37 to 48. That will be ticking up as the Zerg player continues to build. He Does not have a macro hatchery yet, but he is working on his third base. Also, going to be clearing out the rocks here. So with these infestors on the field, the roaches, I think he's sitting in a pretty good spot right now. He's going to have to watch out, though, and make sure he does not fall behind economically. As you see, he is already about 15 workers behind his opponent, which that gap could just keep growing wider and wider. We spot that he's got 4 additional drones on the way. Also, Aspire, which going to be looking, this is going to be really reliant on this third base right here, because if he starts going for Aspire and maybe switch over to Ling Bling or something like that, then it's really going to be taxing on the gas, the fact that he's already spent a lot of it on these infestors right here. So he's going to have to be very selective, very choosy until he gets this third expansion. Then when he gets that additional gas, he's going to be sitting in an exceptionally good spot. Look at the minerals for him right now. You see he's actually quite mineral heavy here. He could decide to drop down some Zerglings, spin that down. You see he's got 18 of them on the way actually. And once he gets another injector 2 in here, I think he'll be sitting in an even better position. Looking good though on the upgrades. Weapons 1, Armor 1. Actually Weapons 1 on the way, Armor 1 already here. And there's the scout for the Zerg player. Sees that high yield expansion going down. Is he going to assault it? This will be kind of difficult. You see the staggered siege tank formation, the Marines, plenty of space between them. And so, oh, nice play by John Oldman, throwing ahead that infested Terran, hoping to catch the first wave of siege volley. But with the infestors running in here, oh, so many of them are getting taken out by those Marines. Not a good thing to have happen. Overall, an attack, 87 to 118. Terran's looking pretty good right now, man. He's doing a good job keeping his money down. That's one of the biggest things here, that we see the Zerg player not quite able to spend it down. He's even got a decent bit of gas now, too. So we'll see exactly what happens next here in the coming moments as this expansion will come under fire. Should be able to get a fungal growth. Oh, no! Oh, the infestors are not meant to be melee units. No! Oh no, John Oldman unfortunately taking a massive hit there. And I think he even realizes the second that it happened. There's the oops. Sure enough, man. I will say I've had things like that happen to me before too, and I'm sure that thousands of other people have as well. So not that huge of a deal, but we'll see how it turns out. And the big picture here in this particular match is the Terran player sees an opportunity and is going to be moving out to try to take advantage of it. You notice how he's keeping the siege tanks nice and positioned right here, anticipating an attack from the rear while sending in just a few units to come in and try to knock out this third base. Unfortunately, that last Marine going to be taken out. Dropship just did not see fit to pick it up there. But now with the Marines running back to the siege tank cover, they will be able to survive long enough to come down once again and likely just finish off this hatchery for good. I mean, there's just so many Marines down here, and when you combine that with the fact that Zerg really just does not have an effective force for dealing with it, he's got a bunch of corruptors right now. I think what he's doing is he's anticipating having that greater spire and getting some broodlords here. It's going to be kind of a risky thing, though, because we see down here he does have the starport. He's going to be able to throw down a reactor, get some Vikings without too much difficulty. But now we have the Zerg player moving out once again, hoping to defend this high-yield expansion. He knows a lot is riding on it. All he has right now, though, a couple infestors. Again, look at the supply count right now, 155 to 89. Zerg player just not quite able to take that. Again, Marines are just way too high in number for this particular matchup for the Zerg player to really have a good chance at getting that. But I like the positioning. Again, Bay obviously has a good grasp of I can't talk. Better than I have in the English language. Good grasp on how to spread out the Marines and minimize the effect of fungal and baneling. But for now, we're seeing him kind of still establish a nice little forward position here. Not push too much in the natural expansion, though. I think he's still worried about the infestors a little bit. Make sure he doesn't want to overextend this lead that he already has. But I feel like he knows he's in a good position. I mean, he has the high yield. It's been pretty much uncontested, except for that one attack there a few minutes ago. And I think Terran's feeling pretty confident overall. So, looking at the income now, do want to point out that Broodlords are actually trying to pick off those siege tanks. Oh no, they're getting so close to the Marines. They need a fungal right there. There we go. Unfortunately, those Broodlords are still super close to the Marines. They're going to be able to do a lot of damage to those, leaving all but one. Even the infestors run in. Oh no, these infestors just trying to be all kinds of different units. First, the infestors thought they were Zerglings. Now they think they're roaches. Just oh so confused. But now, with the tanks retreating, the Zerg once again has the pressure off, at least for the moment. The problem is his income. We could see that. He's running off 39 harvesters compared to 65. Oh man, that's not a good position to be in, especially since he has already dedicated so much gas to getting these Broodlords. He's going to have to go with those lower tier units and he just has to get stuff. I mean, for him to go and just try to get more Broodlords right now, I think would be a lot less effective than if he just threw down a bunch of Lings, you know, got some Roaches as well, spin down some of that gas. And maybe some Infestors. Try to just play defensively here for a while, establish another base, and do everything he can to hold off the Terran player. Some Baneling Mines, I think, would be particularly effective, especially in the key locations like right here, possibly up right here as well, and in addition, down here guarding this expansion, as that's pretty much what the Terran player has shown he does like pushing forward in those particular areas. So for now, John Oldman feeling the pressure here, doing a good job so far, keeping it together. We'll see if he's able to follow it up with a strong defense and counterattack. Now let's look at the Terran from his, let's look at down here from his perspective for just a second. Income 70 or 69 now. I think he just lost one of those SCVs there. But, yep, sure enough, that Zergling coming down from John Oldman, taking out the SCV, working on that third expansion, fourth base total, 4 bay. But 70 harvesters, he's sitting good, man. He knows that he is in a great spot right now. So he's doing exactly what he should be doing. Playing defensively, establishing a strong base, getting a good army together, working on upgrades, and he's going to be able to push out here in a little while. We have Ghost Academy. Ooh, and 44 Zerglings coming from the Zerg player. Very nice. Yes, that's indeed a good thing. Now we'll see what he does with those as his money is starting to run out, man. I'm not going to lie. He's going to have to get some additional income very quickly. He does have this hatchery about 4/5 and 90% completed there, as Bay is going to be running in here, taking that out. What's a Zerg player to do? Well, respond in full force with the Zerglings, man. I mean, hey, why not? That dropship's like, you know what? I'm not going to come heal you. No, forget it. There's corruptors there. Oh, God, you brought them anyways. Oh, how could you? How could you? Again, recording directly from the game. So John Oldman here going ahead with the defense here at the gold expansion. I mean, hey, he was able to double expand, pull it off. Now, if he can drone up, or at least just get a few, and hold off this attack right here, then I think he'll be in a really good spot. But look at the supply count right now. 115 to 185. Okay, so how do we think that's going to go? Not so well. John Oldman, he is definitely fighting an uphill battle here on Xel'Naga Caverns, losing more gas that he needs oh so much. He does have one geyser right here, so that's definitely a good thing. He's going to be very careful with this one Broodlord right here. As you see, there's a number of Vikings always morphing in. 2 more, 3 more. Uh-oh, the Queen! The hero Commando Queen, not quite able to cut it. Oh, man. But we do have a nice fungal catching a lot of those Vikings. Very nicely executed by John Oldman there. As Bay continues to press forward, we see there's the barracks for spotting for the siege tanks. Working on taking out this hatchery. Yep, that's going to be going down there as well. He's going to be losing that income for the gas. He needs that oh so much. But with Zerglings on the way, this is pretty much going to be what looks like the last attack. Here we go, folks. Zerglings running in here. You see the Vikings getting taken down once again by the Fungal Earth. While nice save with the Infestors. This time, it's just going to be the Infestors bumping out the party favors, hoping to take out these siege tanks, do enough damage to put the Terran back on his half of the map. Will it be enough? I do not think so. The siege tanks mopping up, and even with a few infested Terrans left down here, there's plenty more Marines coming in to take out the expansion at the high yield, leaving John Oldman with one base up here mining at the natural, having lost this one just a while ago. You see, these Marines are just pretty much just fish in a barrel with those larvae running around. And that could be it, folks. I mean, really, there's not a lot John Oldman can do at this point. He's going to be trying to take out these Marines. He's got some Zerglings. But you look at the sheer amount of money that the Terran player has. He's just floating 3,000 minerals, 2,500 gas. He could just hold down the M, hold down, all the other hotkeys for the units that he needs for a while. Let him queue up, rally here, move in for a final push. 146 to 45. 23 harvesters to 77 right now. I think that John Oldman's not quite sure if he's out of this or not, and that's why he's still actually hanging out here. I think he knows this is the final game for the team, so he wants to try to pull out any advantage that he can find. Oh no, gotta watch out for those Infestors there. as they are going to be running around. Oh! Getting knocked out. Getting knocked out. So now down on the Infestors, we have 1 Zergling, 2 Corruptors, 2 Queens, but we do have a healthy supply of Overlords, so that's good. John Oldman tossing out the GG, giving Microsoft a 3-1 victory here, Week 6, After Hours Gaming League. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I am Anaris. Make sure if you like the video, subscribe. Visit AfterHoursGaming.tv. Awesome site. This whole tournament is kind of put together by Day9.tv and affiliated staff. So, again, thank you to the players. Thank you to the companies for doing this, man. Seriously, you guys are amazing for getting together and showing that esports is not just about, you know, that highest of the high competition. It's all about just getting together with your friends, having fun, and to top it off, doing it for a good cause. Thank you guys again for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.